Listen, I'm going to be taking myself through my own process because I am struggling with certain emotions right now. I am feeling like I want to retreat in my cave, and I just spotted myself being stuck in the "are we there yet" cycle. Are we freaking there yet? Have you ever felt that? I know that I should be meditating more, manifesting, visualizing, doing all the things, working on my layers, and I am. But there's some levels of me that's like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I know that. But how much am I really doing it? That's the first piece of the "are we there yet" cycle. The first stop, ladies and gentlemen, the first stop is I know that trap. All the things that we know to do. And I know so freaking much. And the more you know, the more it becomes a trap. Because then at some point it's like, well, should I do breath work? Should I meditate? Should I work with my coach? Should I call my spiritual teacher? Should I do a guided meditation? Should I journey and do like a drumming shamanic journey? Should I just like journal? There's just so many things that you know to do. But instead, and I'm going to speak for myself in this case, I've been doing things, right? Taking action, trying to, and we're getting to the second stop because, well, it's the third stop, but we're stopping by the second stop on the "are we there yet" cycle. And it's being hard on yourself, being hard on myself. Am I being hard on myself today? Yes, I am. I'm this and that, I can't believe, and blah, 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 and all the negative stuff. And the desire, instead of recording this, to just binge Netflix and do nothing on my couch was very strong. Because of this self-criticism, because of this being hard on ourselves. So what happens, we want to fix this. Like we want to get out of this. It's not comfortable. We get to the last stop. Ladies and gentlemen, the last stop on the "are we there yet" cycle is the quick fix. Okay, how do I fix this? And I've been chatting with ChatGPT. Okay, what's like a special ritual or what thing of manifestation or quantum field jumping that I have not maybe practiced or found? That new best thing that's going to be like, ooh, with all that I know, because I know that, right? And then I'm being hard on myself. There must be this new special mystical secret that I haven't found yet. And when I do that, boom, everything I want will match to my reality. That's it. And so what we get into, you get into the cycle of looking for solutions outside of yourself. ChatGPT, a friend, a mentor, a coach, not as a resource, but as someone who's just like, tell me what to do. Tell me what's missing. Endless scrolling, searching down the rabbit hole in YouTube or Google, right? All of these things. Signing up for a retreat, which could be amazing, unless it comes from quick fix energy, right? And then what happens, this becomes something we know and we keep cycling. Oh yeah, I know that. And then we're hard on ourselves and we keep going for the quick fix. And this is the "are we there yet" trap. I'm pulling the curtain on all my stuff today. Listen up. I'm taking you with me. Are you ready? Because if you're stuck in an emotional thing too, you could take yourself through the same process. Okay, let's get started. Without giving you a full 3-hour masterclass on it, because that's probably what it would take or more, okay? We're going to skip straight to the framework, which is the 5-pointed start path. Okay, so I have my notes here to make sure I keep myself on track. And the first point of the 5-pointed star path is own your freaking greatness. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do it. I'm just going to start with, and the sub framework, so to speak, of that is the E4 method. One is expand. Expand out of the comfort zone. So I'm going to be journaling as well. I'm going to be sharing with you along the way. Okay, are you ready for this? Expand. Because okay. The comfort zone is very comfortable, isn't it? So what has been my comfort zone? My comfort zone has been taking a lot of actions. I am in action. For some people, taking an action, actually go put your event out there is like, whoa, big for them. Not for me. Not for me. I move. Okay. And that's the strength I have. But that's a comfort zone for me as well. Whatever you master, whatever feels now comfortable and easy for you to do becomes your new comfort zone. It's not bad. It's just that that's not your point of expansion. Okay. So my comfort zone has been to take a lot of actions. And in some ways, that felt like that third stop on the Are We There Yet cycle. A lot of fixing and doing and like making it pretty and putting it out there and connecting with people and, okay, promoting it. Okay. So what am I called to expand into? What's coming to me, of course it's uncomfortable. Okay, what's coming to me is I'm called to expand into, almost can't say it. If that happens to you, it's normal. When you resist something, you hear it in your head, you got the sense of it, but sometimes just verbalizing it is difficult. And if you get to that point, you hit something good. Okay, so pull on that thread, but be gentle. Be gentle with yourself always. Okay. I've always been great at sprints. Since I was in primary school, I think I said, I'm great at sprint. Don't put me up for a marathon. This is it. Outside of the comfort zone it's going for the marathon. No! Okay. Not in real life. It's a metaphor, okay? I was feeling out of faith. I was feeling out of trust. I'm like, I just got to trust and have faith. And yes, it's true, but I want things to happen yesterday. And I go hard and crash. So this is the new expansion zone for me, is to move. Oh, it's hard to say. To move at a slower pace that can be maintained. Because I'm not a marathon runner, but my husband did a half marathon, and I've heard people talk about this. If you start your marathon, and you just run like it's a sprint, you're going to burn yourself out, right? You're not going to be able to finish. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I've heard. So, holy smokes. That's what I've been doing. Okay. Cool. I'm doing this. It just feels good to me. It's moving the energy, moving the stuckness. It's not really tapping. I don't know what I'm really doing. It's just intuitively. Okay. Let me see my skin shake. It's really pretty. Okay. Cool. Okay, let me just write that down. Okay, number two is expose, okay? And this is our number 2 of the E4 method. So there's going to be 3 E's, okay? You guessed it. So expand, we're expanding out of the comfort zone, and it might be different. If I worked with you, it might be different what I do with you. I'm processing myself. So take what you can from it if you're just following along, but it's identifying what's been your comfort zone and what you're called to expand into. And as you can see, it's not necessarily comfortable, okay? E2 is expose, and this is where we're exposing the fears, because by definition, by default, expected, as we step out of our comfort zones, we're gonna meet fears. Okay, so what are the fears? And I already started to encounter them when I started to think about the marathon and slowing down speed. Ooh, slowing down. There's definitely a fear there. I think I made it mean that for as long as I move fast, I'm safe, because I do everything that I can. And if I'm very busy and very tired, I'm justified that I've done everything I could. Sorry for the noises. I'm just also kind of like expelling the energy. inner horse. And if I'm justified that I did my best, I feel like no one can actually blame you or blame me. So I'm still trying to avoid criticism or judgment because I don't yet have the results I'm looking to get when it comes to my business. So this is where it's coming from. If I slow down, then now I'm exposing myself to people and myself, my sweet little inner voice here, love you, to criticism, to judgment, to like, how dare you slow down when you're not there yet? You cannot take a break until you've reached your destination. But as we'll talk later, I don't know if I'll get a chance to finish. This is going to be a long video. Holy smokes. There is no arrival. There is no destination. Only constant and never-ending evolution. Okay. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Okay. Oh! Okay. A lot of visceral expression, okay? E3 is embrace. And this is where we're talking about concepts of worthiness. Okay. I'm laughing because this is my framework. I did not plan this. I'm following along because I'm just in the moment, in the process. And I'm just like, this is exactly what came up. So I'm just laughing because, wow, yes, this is the next step. Because like I just said, who am I to slow down? I haven't proven yet that I'm allowed, that I can give myself permission to take it at a pace that I can sustain long term. Why? This is performative. This is earning. This is being good enough for. Do you see how it's linked to worthiness? Who am I? Have I deserved a break yet? Have I given enough? Have I done enough? Have I proven enough? Have I been good enough? Loved enough? Accepted enough? All the enoughs that you have? Holy smokes. Ah! So if you're doing this process with me, I invite you to just, what I'm doing is I'm sitting with the discomfort. I'm sitting with this, I will call psychological dissonance, because I do know, and maybe you don't know, but let me tell you, I do know that I am worthy no matter what. If you see a child, if you see a baby, they don't need to do anything. You're not going to be like, you're crying again? You haven't deserved your next milk. Excuse me, sir. You got to do something for me here. No, no. Babies don't need to do anything to deserve love, to deserve being taken care of. When you see a child, if it's your child or a cousin or even a pet, do they need to do anything even when they get older, like to deserve love? To be worthy? I mean, yes, there are certain things, for example, like in the marketplace, and this is where things, if we're talking about business, gets tangled up. And Tony Robbins would say, we are all equal as souls, but we're not equal value in the marketplace. And where it gets tangled up is that we start to mix financial results, likes on Instagram, the amount of friends, where we're invited to, right? If we're expanding, the promotion, the number of sales, whatever, right? We are entangling our worth with whatever we deem is equal success outside of ourselves. Either success financially, in business, in relationships, in, I don't know, if you're into extreme sports, right? Success as a person out there doing extreme stuff, or in sports or whatnot. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I know that my worth is not linked to my business success, or how fast, speed for me, okay, how fast it happens. But part of me can help but to entangle them, link them, no matter, regardless. And it's incorrect. It's incorrect. So I am sitting in this and looking to reframe this within myself, okay? So let me get there and I'll take you through it. There's many ways to work with worth. I'm not going to go into all the ways. One thing you can do is think about you as a child, even if you have a picture and you can hold yourself inside of you. You can think about, like I said, your child or another being in your life that has nothing to do, and just see that we are all souls and there's nothing to do to deserve. For me right now, what seems to be working is to connect with my divine nature, being one with divine, God, universe, life, Mother Earth, whatever higher power you associate with, and bring myself back to the sense of presence, deep presence. And usually in that space, there is a sense of unconditional love and compassion. And funny enough, where everything slows down. Do you see the connection? Wink, wink, universe. Thank you. Oh. Okay. But it is valuable information, a valuable awareness for me to notice that when I move fast, it's often because I'm looking to quick fix in that cycle. Are we there yet cycle? Yes. Because I know that, and then I'm hard on myself and I try to fix it. And there's a fear that if I don't go fast and do everything I can and I'm busy and I justify, then maybe I could prove that I am not good enough. And other people could see that and judge me. And I could judge myself. And that's why I keep myself in my comfort zone. Yes? Okay. Last E. Okay, oh, wait, let me write that down. I'm already feeling quite centered. And I'm starting to hear sounds around me, like, with this sense of peace. It might not happen as quick for you. I've been practicing this for a very long time in various different forms before I put it in this coherent model. Okay. But if you get there, that's kind of like a little bit of a plateau. We can still keep going. The last E, and it's good to get there before the last E as well, is to enact. And this is where we start to getting out of our own self. So because the comfort zone and the fears and everything I said so far is very like me, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that this self-focus perspective oftentimes might not be enough, especially when it's challenging, to really step out of that comfort zone and expand beyond the fears, beyond the concerns of worthiness. Okay? So, what are we going to do? We're going to go for something bigger than ourselves. And enact this is where we declare or enact something into reality, that stand that we're taking. And it can be a bit scary. That's okay. It's kind of like that leap of faith for something bigger than yourself. I like to use the example of, like, let's say you're walking down the street and you see a kid playing with his ball, and then the ball goes into the street and he goes and run after the ball to pick it up. And he doesn't see that there's a car kind of coming at pretty fast speed. And you can see that the car is coming too fast, and maybe the driver was a bit distracted and they're not seeing the kid. In that moment, what is going to be your instinct? Because most people's instinct would be like running to try and save the child. You're not staying there on the back, on the sideline thinking, am I strong enough though? Am I fast enough to get there? I mean, will I get hurt? That's just a fair concern. Is it weird for me to like grab a kid that's not my kid and like, I don't know, or maybe I'm too crazy. Maybe I'm making something up and actually the car is seeing it and the kids saw it and there's enough time. Like maybe I'm just crazy right now. No. Something bigger than yourself is happening, and in that moment, you run and you try and save the kid as much as you can. That's what I mean by this Enact piece, where it's like, okay, what's bigger than me that would make me actually run into traffic and potentially risk my life to save someone else? Because in that moment, I'm not going to be concerned about what's comfortable. I'm not going to be concerned about my fears. I'm not going to be concerned about my worthiness. I'm going to be concerned about this child's life. And I'm going to move differently because of it. And some of you might already have that purpose. You might already know what it is. But in that moment, if you are struggling, you probably forgot or stopped focusing on it. So this is the moment where it's like, oh, right. This declaration might not surprise you. It might be something like, right, I know. Don't be in the I know that though. Like really declare it, really enact it, really like stand for it. For me, slowing down and going in marathon mode. Exposing the fears of, if I slow down, am I allowed? And what does it mean about my worth? What would make it all worth it? What would make it all not matter so much in the big picture? So tune into that, and it's okay if the answer surprises you. Also, be open to what comes up, and if an answer about you comes up, again, there's nothing wrong. It's a part of the equation, but challenge yourself to find a reason that is bigger than you. And remember, this is the first step of the 5-pointed star path, and it's about owning your freaking greatness. So maybe ask yourself, in all of your greatness, expanding out of your comfort zone, confronting your fears and your concerns of worthiness, what is all that for? Ultimately, for you in this life, for your soul, for your purpose, for your mission. What is the great picture for you? And for me, it really is for the collective consciousness. It sounds generic and woo-woo, but it really, it's for all the women that I get to be a guide for, because who I'm becoming is this energetic pull and permission and proof that you can get there too. And when you do, we all rise. The expression, a rising tide raises all boats. When the most of us do this, we become the tide. We become the tide. We become enough to actually move the ocean into a tide, and we raise all boats. Everybody else that's not doing this work. And ultimately, it creates a better world for everyone, and leaving a better world for my son as well. Okay, point number 2. Reclaim and be in your power. We have the 3D keys for this. The first D is detox. We want to detox all the shoulds, the black and white, mentalities and perspectives. It's either A or B. There's nothing else. Or not. Okay, there must be shades of grays. And any... Oh my gosh, this one. Hello, this is me. Focus on the timeline, on when we want things to happen. Okay. Okay, let's go. Detox. Okay. And this is where I would explore with you all of this. So, of course, in this case, I'm going to do it with myself in a faster way because we are just at step 2 of 5. Come on. Okay. Okay, if I'm honest with myself, all this doing that I've been doing has been hiding, or behind it has been a lot of shoulds. Wanting to do things perfectly, wanting to do things well, posting on all the platforms. How often should I post? Where do I need to post as? And the beautification of the copy and the images, right? All of these shoulds, the things that you should do. And also this kind of like questioning around like, oh my gosh, I should work energetically as well. I should do all my clearing. And I've been saging like crazy and Palo Santoing. And I'm not meditating enough, right? Because I'm busy creating all the back end, which is a lot of work, and my husband is traveling and I'm alone with my son with summer camp. The days are shorter. And yes, there's been a lot of strain that I've been putting on myself, externalizing my power to external things or to things I should do in a certain way, or it won't work. And this is where the black and white mentality comes in. Has good things ever happened to people who didn't meditate for hours on end? Has good things happened to people who haven't cleared all their layers? Is it possible to clear all my layers? Right? And there's also these shoulds expectations of myself. Being a teacher of this work, right? I should have no more layers. I know this is not realistic and possible. I am a human being. But nonetheless, these thoughts are present in my mind, taking space and draining my energy. And contributing to this negative emotional spiral I found myself in before coming into making this video. Okay. I found that the best way to detox, and it really I found that the best way to detox is to start with awareness, right? So this is what I'm doing. I'm just speaking into being. And because I'm really used to doing this type of work, I don't need to do so much work on each of these items, on reframing or detangling, on untangling truth versus false. You might need some of that, okay? So just putting it out there that this is a space where all the steps, but especially this step might require a little bit more assistance. Because sometimes I should do that. No, you don't understand. That's what they say to do. And if you don't, it won't work. Like, there's a lot of that to also address. And it's not because it's false or not. There's a lot of subtleties in this. So yes, of course, putting things on, let's say, ads, or let's say posting on many platforms. Is it good? 100%. More people can see it. People can see it from multiple platforms. Yeah. Is it possible that you post on all these platforms and you don't get the visibility you're looking for? Yes. So is it also possible that you post on one platform and get the visibility you want for, let's say, a specific event? Also possible. Is it possible you don't post at all and just go word of mouth? Yeah, that's possible. Is it possible you don't post at all and you just do an ad that works pretty well? Yeah, I guess that's possible as well. So the danger with these types of shoulds and have tos is that we mistaken them for law as opposed to inspiration, guidelines, ideas. And then getting into ourselves, reclaiming and being in our power to decide what's going to be in alignment for us. And in my case, following the speed of a marathon so I can sustain energetically this longer term. Okay. So this is what I need to start to consider right now for myself. How do I simplify? So this is what's coming to me for this step for me today, and other days might be different, but it's how do I simplify and trust my inner guidance? And what I'm going to start to do from right now is whenever this emotion comes back, there's the first piece, right? Wait, hold on, I'm expanding. Owning your freaking greatness. We talked about that. And then what am I standing for? Okay, this is the first piece. And then it's like, wait, hold on. How do I simplify and trust my inner guidance in the pace of a marathon? So a marathon is still effort. It's not doing anything. It's not just like, all right, I said I would slow down. Let me grab the remote. Yeah, baby. There could be some of that. There are, water stops along the way, right? You still need, if you hurt yourself, you might slow down, all that kind of stuff. I've never ran a marathon, but I can assume that. But it's not a sprint the whole time and like, why am I not there yet? Okay. And that's the energetic difference for me to grasp throughout all of these steps. Okay. And so identifying when am I feeling like, oh, I should do that. And if I don't do that, it won't work. And I need to do all of the things and it needs to happen by that time. And it's like, whoa, can we detox that? Can we challenge it? Can we see if it's actually true? Is it in alignment? Can I come back to my own power, be in it, and reclaim that? Yes. Okay. The next D is design. This is where we move from all the like, but I can't. You don't understand. It won't work. All the impossibilities, right? To how can I? How can I? And it can come back to the comfort zone. I can't do this thing that's scary. I can't. You don't understand. These things won't happen. I do that, but there's this situation. Okay. And the idea here is to come back to choice. Okay, here's what's coming to me for my situation. Okay. Okay. Part of me is thinking, I can't slow down. My event is coming up in less than 10 days. I need to just sprint everything and do the things, everything I can, all times of the days I have available until I crash because of the timeline. You don't understand. Okay. So then shifting that would be, how can I maintain marathon speed and bring some choice to myself in my life, knowing that the deadline is within less than 10 days? Okay. Well, I could choose to say, you know what? I'm okay to sprint. I'm okay to sprint just for this period. But in this moment, I have just established that my expansion zone is not to sprint. That would be staying in my comfort zone. But I'm not looking to stay in my comfort zone. I'm looking to expand. So letting go of this timeline, which is part of the first D of detox, timeline focus. Coming from choice, how can I? What's coming to me is that I already have a few signups and other ones in the pipeline. And it doesn't really matter that it's not sold out. It doesn't really matter that it's not necessarily new people or new community that I was so attached to. Hear the word attachment. Probably not serving me. So, how can I make, okay, here's a question. There it is. How can I make this event a success regardless of how many people sign up? This is it. Let me write that down. Okay, and here's a fun one. How is it already a success? Okay, I'm feeling that one. It's already a freaking success because I have signups. It's already a freaking success because there's some people who are interested. Whether or not they can make it, they are interested. That's a success. It's a success because from the moment the idea of creating an in-person event dropped into my consciousness, my first event will happen about less than 5 weeks later. Like, let's say a month after. Do you realize? Like, meeting with deciding on the event. And not just that one event, but 6 months of events twice a month have been created. Landing pages, leaflet, promotional material, structure of the events, contract, insurance, connection with the center, creating marketing material, copy, visuals, etc. Okay. The turnaround is freaking amazing. It's already a success. Okay. And then declare. Okay, the last D is declare. And I feel like I've already done that. This is so amazing because these steps are just like happening organically. And that tells you like this framework is actually well designed. Okay, I'm going to take the kudos on this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to declare my event is already a success. To give you some context, declare can be what I just did, declaring something. And we would have to spend another probably 20 minutes to maybe really go into the teachings of that, but it's the concept of be, do, have, which is from various different traditions, but you probably heard that before. Like, who are you being, right? Who are you being? And from that beingness, what are the actions you're going to do? And then that will lead you to have. And so it's kind of like boring from that future self into the now. And what was I doing? Silly me, even though I know that. I was like, why don't I have? And I was being the person who doesn't have. And doing all the actions to save it and quick fix it from the comfort zone. And no, it's not that it's not good, but I was like sprinting, trying to have. But what did I do right now? My event is already a success. So this is kind of already future self boring because if it's already a success, I'm kind of like projected in the future. Oh, this event was a success. Okay. So from this venture point of my event already being a success, how I'm going to behave? I don't need to sprint. Let's marathon this. Yeah. I'm going to take the steps. I'm going to put in the effort. I'm going to do my work, capital W, because that's what I'm here to do. That's what fulfills me and is in line with my purpose and mission. In a way that's sustainable, obviously, because I know it's already a success. Okay. I know this stuff, but I'm also hitting realizations as I'm speaking it. Talk about alchemy. Okay. So that's reclaiming being your power. Do you feel the power of this? Okay. That was only step 2. I'm going to go a lot faster. especially because step 3, first of all, I'm feeling the shift. I'm feeling like the Shakti, the prana, the life force, energy coursing through my body. There's definitely some movement. So this is good. The next step is of the 5-pointed star path is a journey in itself. So I'm not going to be able to do it with you, okay? But it's called Undress the BS. And I have a whole framework on that called the Sacred Undressing Journey, which is an archetypal process that goes from the queen, the warrioress, the lover, and the mystic. And each of these feminine force, which are archetypes too, have 4 power portals. Okay. So if I was doing this for myself right now, and I'm going to just speed things up because of the purpose of this video, I would look at each of these power portals and identify which ones I feel like is kind of in my way right now that I could unlock. Where is there some layers of limitations ready to undress, right? And then I could unlock the power underneath it. So let me just have a quick look. So already looking at the queen. So looking at the queen, the 4 power portals are know yourself, own yourself, honor yourself, and lead yourself. And I'm not going to go into details on that. I do have a masterclass for sale that goes through all of these 4 feminine forces and guides you in a short journey for each to tap into these forces within you. So if you're interested in having this masterclass, let me know. But I'm already can tell from the first 4 portals, the power portal of lead yourself is something that I want to work on. I'm going to do that off camera, just ongoingly for me, because I've been working with these for so long. I don't necessarily need to do this sitting down here. Leading yourself has a lot to do with also being your word to yourself. So you are, because if someone keeps saying to you that they're going to do something, it's like was this guy who cried wolf, right? At first you go and you think, oh, there's a wolf. Oh, there's a wolf. And then you realize, oh, this guy is just lying to us. It's not telling the truth. It's trying to, whatever. Then you stop trusting the guy, right? And then when there's a wolf, too bad. Okay, so that's a sad story. But that's what happens with ourselves as well. We stopped trusting ourselves. And you see how that was important when I said I need to start trusting my own inner guidance when we talked about reclaiming and being in our power. Well, if I don't lead myself powerfully and unlock this power portal by undressing the layers that are there that I'm going to explore later, yeah, that's a big one for me. Yeah. For the warrioress, I'm just looking quickly. Her 4 power portals is express yourself, compose yourself, which is having composure in the face of challenges and conflicts, empower yourself, which has to do with purpose, and believe in yourself. I would say compose myself because I have been allowing myself to indulge a little too much in negative states, and believe in myself would be the other one. So there's some layers to undress there. I do believe in myself, and there are parts of me that still doubt, if I'm being truly honest. Yeah. Okay. So let me write that down. For the lover, I feel pretty good. There's always another layer. It's not like, oh, the other power portals, I'm like, top notch, no. We're human beings. There's always other levels. But just for now, for this situation, I don't have anyone that really is lighting up for me, which is, so the power portals for the lover are open yourself, love yourself, connect yourself, and give of yourself. Okay. I feel pretty good on those with regards to this situation. Okay. For the mystic, the 4 power portals we have tune yourself, which is tuning to the divine and God and whatnot for you. but also tuning yourself like a tuning fork in terms of your emotional state to be a match to what you're looking to attract, the B, right? Okay, so definitely that one. Definitely that one. Be yourself, all about identity and stepping into the identity I'm looking to become. So I feel like the mystic is the biggest work for me right now. Unburden yourself, all right. All about attachments, which I have some, but it doesn't flash. And transcend yourself, which is a little bit more ethereal. So I will say tune and be. Okay, so this is a deeper work. So for me, if I were to work with you, I mean, it would be very different. We would address the most important one and go from there, depending on what container we're in. But for me, once my son is in bed tonight, I'm going to sit in the semi-darkness with my journal and just riff on those and identify as many layers as I can in the way of really owning the power of each of these in this context. And then I'm going to apply my work and tools to undress these, which will include coaching techniques, but also I'm feeling called to drum, using my shamanic drum tonight to shake this loose. Okay, so I'm going to do. So that was the third step of the 5-pointed star path. Okay, let's go to number 4. Okay, so number 4 is lead from your truth. Okay. So we've owned our freaking greatness. We reclaim and being in our power. We're undressing the BS, the layers of stuff and limitations, and unlocking the powers, okay? Through the 4 feminine forces. Now we're leading from our truth. And our truth is that core. It's truth, capital T, okay? Our core, our true essence, our goddess within. Our divine spark, however you want to call that. We want to lead from that as opposed to leading from wounds, leading from conditioning, leading from shoulds, leading from what others say to do, right? All these other ways. No, we want to lead from our truth as much as we can. This is not black and white. We're moved away from that. This is a gradation. Okay, so we lead from our truth as much as we're able. And truth, capital T, gets more and more unveiled, or revealed, better word, revealed as we do the work. Okay. So we're using the TLC codes. I'm going to go a lot faster on these two because they're a lot deeper and it's going to be really hard to do this work with you on the camera, but I just want you to have the whole framework. Okay. So T is truth. Truth has different layers. We talked about that, right? Just now it get revealed, but there's also your truth, someone else's truth, the ultimate truth. It's like this metaphor of the 7 blind men holding in different parts of the elephant. One person is holding the tail and thinks the elephant is, I don't know, something. A lizard? Someone holds the trunk and they think it's a snake. Someone holds their leg, the elephant leg. It's a tree. Okay. And so someone holds the ear. Oh my gosh, this is, I don't know, a sail. Right? So they all think something different. So the ultimate truth is it's an elephant, I guess, right? Maybe there is another level of truth. Maybe it's just a soul, a being. I don't know. Right? So even that, we are limited by what we perceive. And our perception is influenced by obvious and non-obvious things. Okay, without being too mystical on you. Okay, so how do I apply this to my situation now? What's coming to me is that you'll have that in these processes. It's kind of like you have a knowing and it's pre-verbal. And as you're trying to like verbalize it, it's hard to actually do. And this is why I'm struggling right now. Okay, so hold on. What's coming to me is that there is a truth about me seeing my life in time, meaning like I'm moving forward in my timeline and I'm here and I'm seeing my event there and I'm seeing like all that needs to happen and things that haven't happened, right? As opposed to seeing through time where I'm seeing my timeline and I have like a different venture point. So this speaks again to the marathon. It's like you can be in the marathon running, or you could be like bird's eye view, seeing yourself at the starting when you were like, oh my gosh, this is starting. And like, at that point when you twisted your ankle, right? And then you're just like, because you're in the car back home and you're just replaying the thing, it has happened. So leading from my truth in this context would be leading from the truth of this event is already a success. This feels true. This sounds and resonates as truth for me. And if I lead from that truth, or not if, by leading from that truth, everything changes. And there's no attachment to the outcome, because the truth is, it's not about, it's not about this event. Yes. It's about doing my work, capital W, and the succession of events that this starts. So not just events like workshops, but like what in the consciousness, in the world, in the field, what this sparks. Okay, I get it. I hope you get it too. It's very like out there right now. These last pieces can be very personal, and whatever insight comes to you, other people are like, cool, I'm really glad it makes sense to you, right? But I want to showcase how it might look like. So really lead from your truth is not like steps like we did in the previous steps. It's not like, okay, first we do truth, and then it's more like entangling and going deeper in like, okay, what is my truth right now? If I want to lead from my truth, what is the truth, my truth, ultimate, someone else's truth? How does that all come into context depending on the situation? Number 2 for TLC, L, we have lead. And this is where we talk about, okay, what is your intention, right? If you want to lead, it's like, where are you leading people to? What's the impact you're looking to create in being a trailblazer? And I feel like this really fits into this realization that I just had right now. It's not about the event. It's already a success leading from that, but also it's not about the event. It's about what doing this event sparks into the fabric of reality and my consciousness and everybody else's, and how maybe the timeline alignment, who the heck knows, okay? But there's the shake-up of something. And that's the intention. That's me blazing a trail towards the ultimate expression of my purpose. Because as we remember, there is something I enacted in the first point of the 5-pointed star path on your greatness, when I enacted, what is this for, right? For all the women I'll get to touch, for the collective consciousness that gets to rise, that we become the tide that raises all boats, and that this leaves a legacy for the prosperity, including my son. Okay. And C for the TLC codes is choose. This is also kind of a complex topic on its own really quickly, but this is really, we already talked about choice before, but this is kind of like a higher level of choice in the context of the whole world, right? So there's the concept of right action or right relationships. There's some Buddhism, it's not coming to my mind right now, but the concept is, is it correct for me, for the universe, for others? Like there's like a few questions. I don't know why it just escaped my mind. And to allow ourselves to also experiment and see that the concept of choice is not necessarily a decision. My first spiritual teacher would tell me, don't choose, decide. The point is, decide has this root that says it's like I'm killing the other option, right? It's like I'm either going right or left. And once I decide right, left is dead, okay? But choosing, it's almost like the possibilities exist, right? So I think she was saying to me, don't choose, decide, because it was about making your mind and committing to something. But in some cases, we want to come from choice as well, because it can cause a lot of pressure to feel like I've killed the other option. And especially in business and in life, it's not a straight line, right? And so coming from choice and seeing this as an experiment, especially I'm thinking now in my context, I'm experimenting with different ways to market, to create events, to talk about it, to do the back end, all of these things, all the doing I've been doing. Wait, hold on. What if I started to like see this as an experiment, leading from my truth that it's already a success with the intention of what I've enacted and knowing that this is actually sparking something for the future. Okay, I'm excited. Holy moly. Okay, this is good. And step 5 of the 5-pointed star path is to let your becoming sparkle even brighter. And this one is about the Ode way, ODE. Okay, they all have fun little letters. Okay, I like creating frameworks. Oh, okay. Those are deep as well. Okay. I don't do surface stuff, guys. So this is it. O is to own death and rebirth. Okay, and this is important for me right now. In this let me apply to this context because it depends on your context. But this is where everything really is an initiation. And I've done these types of initiation by your teacher and but ultimately I like to see it like it's an initiation into your next level of consciousness. It's an initiation into yourself, capital S. More and more. And so you can seek outside initiations and it's okay to do that. But like ultimately in reclaiming your power, like you're actually initiating yourself through someone to support you with ritual and presence and holding a space of consciousness. Okay. And so through this initiation, right, if I'm coming into this more of myself, capital S, there is that old part of me, so to speak, which I thought was me and it actually wasn't or is no longer, that is dying, that is done, right? The phoenix rebirth metaphor, okay? Death and rebirth. So there's an aspect of letting go. When I moved from New York after 13 years of living there, and I moved back home to Canada, I had to let go of New York. I could not live in New York and in Montreal at the same time. You could do half if it's something you do, but you're still not living in the same place at the same time. I have not developed the skill of bilocation. So if anyone is able to do that, but that's a very, very high attainment. So I would say for most of us out there, we cannot live in 2 places at once. Okay. So in this concept, for you, for me, what does that mean? That means is, what do I need to let go of? And it takes us back kind of to that comfort zone aspect. What part of me, and that might sound harsh, but what part of me needs to die right now? Not because I hate it. Not because it's like ugly. No, what part of me have I outgrown? Or am I looking to outgrow? To make space for the new. What's coming to me is that part of me that's like, but I want it now. And I just want to point out, because in the context of wholeness and parts work, I would never lead you to disown and reject a part of yourself, right? So death of the old could also be the death of the old way of doing things. So I'm not going to kick out that clearly child part of me. A child part. She feels like 4 years old. I'm not going to do a whole parts integration with you here now, but this is something I would do with myself after. What's going to die is letting her be in charge. That way of doing things. I'm not going to kill her, baby. I'm going to integrate her and love her and understand her and integrate. But I can choose to let another part of me, the part of me that you probably saw on camera that was like, yes, it's already a success. And I'm going to let that part lead the way. And that's the rebirth part of it. I should have taken notes. I'll rewatch this. Okay, that's the O. Okay, we're going deep. Ask yourself these questions if you're following along. And if you need support, let me know, because I know this is a lot, and this is not something I would do with somebody in one sitting. I'm able to do this because I've done the work for so many years, okay? But usually we would take one piece at a time, okay? D is devote to the path. Okay. This is where having a teacher is useful. I do have a teacher. I have reached out to her, which is always good to do, because sometimes you have a teacher, you don't reach out. Hello. Or coach or guide, whatever it is. And devoting yourself to the path also means you're devoting yourself to challenges. Right? What? Yeah, I know. The path is not like, there's this temptation to believe that I can do something in my life that somehow unlocks this path of sunshine and rainbows all the time. But as we established, to grow, we need to expand. Okay, so my camera went out of battery, even though it's 100% because I went way too long. But because I'm so freaking uplifted now, it didn't bother me. I even picked up my son, plugged my battery, and now I am back. Okay. And I took a note of what I was saying last. Okay. So as we have established, to grow, we need to expand. And to expand, we need to get out of our comfort zone. So we need to get uncomfortable, which means that challenges are a part of the equation. And so as we embrace that and devote ourselves to the path, we make our lives a lot more easier. That's why this whole last step is all about letting your becoming sparkle even brighter. If you just take these words all apart, because they're all intentional, is like letting, kind of allowing. There's no effort into that, right? Letting your becoming, not who you've become, finished. Becoming is ever unfolding. Right? Letting your becoming sparkle, because the more you release the layers, the more you shine, the more you let your light out, right? So you're like, ta-da! Even brighter, because you're always shining. You're already shining, but you get to shine even brighter. So it's not start to shine, it's not start to shine or start to sparkle, it's to sparkle even brighter. Okay, so we're owning the death and rebirth, okay? Letting go of stuff, moving on, devoting to the path, how it is, understanding that challenges are part of the situation, are part of the game. And there's more to this step, but this is what we're going to focus on for the time we have. And E, for the last one of the ODE, Ode Way, is to expand your consciousness. Okay. Expand your consciousness applied to my situation right now. So what I'm seeing here is your life matters, and kind of like, what more are you? Getting away from that 3D me point perception of you, but seeing yourself as actually bigger than what you might be able to perceive. So it's kind of like a mind expanding, this one, or like, man, your mind might be cramping a bit, right? But it's kind of similar to when I was saying, like, that event is going to spark something in the continuum, in the field, in the consciousness, and the evolution of me and everybody that it's going to touch, and what's getting started there. And it also reminds of the idea of, remember, all the way back to the first step, the fourth point of the first step, enact, right? When we're going beyond ourselves. So we see like the same type of concepts are coming along here at different points, always in a higher and higher octave of understanding and application. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? It means, okay, applied to me right now in this situation. Honestly, it really, for me, comes back to this, like, it's sparking something and having, it's almost like I'm widening my perspective beyond that one event, beyond beyond even that just succession of events, of workshops and whatever I'm offering there in person, but kind of like in the greater scheme of things. And so it's almost like it's by expanding my consciousness, and there's a simple thing you could do to do that. You can just close your eyes, come into stillness as much as you're able. Okay, some people say, I can't meditate. It's just because your mind is too active. So we need to like calm the nervous system, and you just do your best, okay? And then just pay attention to your energy and start to expand your energy to the room. And you're expanding your energy and your consciousness of it. It's like through your inner eye. And then you do that for the whole house. And then the whole neighborhood. And then the whole city. And then the whole country. And then the whole continent. And then the whole earth. And then you go beyond and beyond and beyond until it just like it's beyond what you can't even comprehend. And there's kind of like a pop at some point where you're like... There's just something when you do this exercise that brings even deeper stillness, and you get access to that sense of, some people call it oneness, wholeness, bigger than yourself, and a different perspective, almost like some say the God perspective. So as you let your becoming sparkle even brighter, it's almost like this expand your consciousness is to take you out of this single point in time of what's happening right now, the emotion, the event, the situation, and expanding beyond that and seeing this in the context of your becoming. I would love to hear if you followed along, if you listened to this point. Thank you. I honor you so deeply. We are definitely kindred spirits. Hopefully this supported you, this sparked you. If you ever need support, let me know. If you're ever in Montreal, I do have in-person events now in the North Shore, so let me know about that. But I'm also always putting out online events too, so you can certainly connect with me and go deeper into these things. This is part of my teachings. This is what I love to do. And it's been such a blessing to share my process in a real time. No makeup, no hair done, and nothing. I might put a filter on this because I'm a bit self-conscious right now. And the lighting is horrendous, but okay. So thank you for being here. I deeply see you, honor you. To being on this path is the select few. There's more and more of us, but it takes something. It takes somebody special to really commit their life to being on this path and letting their becoming sparkle even brighter. So like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things, and I'll see you soon.